talk about the value of water in Philadelphia, we have over 3,000 miles of sewer pipe that has led Philadelphia to a very good place and very clean rivers and streams. Almost all the sewage, when it's not raining, goes to our treatment plants for treatment. But when it rains, our land can't handle the rainwater. And it's sending too much rainwater into our sewers, polluting our sewers, and making our sewers overflow into the rivers and streams, putting pollution into the rivers and streams.
Philadelphia and around the country are dealing with stormwater management in lots of different ways, and Philadelphia has decided to manage their stormwater in a non-conventional way, to get it into the ground instead of into pipes, and to manage it via green practices.
Green infrastructure is incredibly important to the Philadelphia Water Department as our future approach for managing stormwater, but it also provides an incredible support structure for the city of Philadelphia, because as we green, we're improving our schools, we're improving our businesses and streets, we're supporting the economy of the city of Philadelphia, we're supporting green jobs and jobs for Philadelphians. We're leading the country in these initiatives and how they can export these ideas from Philadelphia to other cities throughout the United States.
In response to the Water Department's Green Cities, Clean Waters policy that basically is requiring businesses and new developments to manage their stormwater on site, there's a need for design firms, engineer firms, landscapers, landscape architects, maintenance crews, and that sort of thing. And so all the job growth is around the design and installation and maintenance of all of these projects.
So it leads the water into the garden and tries to protect the soil underneath from erosion.
We definitely see a need around stormwater management training because as the city prepares for implementing stormwater projects, certainly we want to be well prepared in terms of maintenance of those projects.
You go back in with a pitchfork and you loosen up that soil.
The Roots to Reentry program is providing inmates with an opportunity in training in landscape management and horticulture and making the direct connection to jobs once they're released from the prison system. We want to give them opportunity to become more marketable in the industry. We came up with the idea of providing additional training in stormwater management for graduates of the program.
Do you see what looks like rows in there?
I decided to do the stormwater management because to me it was something new. I didn't know anything about it, so I was kind of interested in it. And we learned a lot about tree identification,
That's all wild grapevine.
transplanting, pruning, what seasons to plant in, how to plant, the difference between soils, and it was a lot of work, a lot to go into, but I enjoyed it. I look at it as like a new opportunity for me. I can build a career off of it, and it's fun.
Right now, we're not removing any sediment or removing weeds. Kind of a stretch.
Roots to Reentry participants have a huge advantage having both traditional landscape training and now green stormwater infrastructure specific maintenance training. So you can have an area that has regular landscaping but also has a green stormwater infrastructure project, and they'll be able to know how to do both and be able to get jobs working with businesses that do both.
Well, I actually got a job with the city through the Tree Keepers program, so I'm thankful for that. Tree Keepers is a branch of Parks and Recreations, so we go to different parks throughout the city and prune the trees, cut the limbs, pull out weeds, make sure that the tree has a natural chance to grow.
We're working more with vulnerable populations. We're working with populations that are typically harder to employ. We're trying to create opportunities for sustained employment through not only the Roots to Reentry program, but through additional training.
Power Corps is a brand new program here in the city of Philadelphia. Began in September of 2013, and it's a workforce development program for young adults 18 to 26, training them in sustainable land care and landscaping and ideally green-collar jobs. Power Corps members are AmeriCorps members, and so as such they have agreed to do 900 hours of community service in a 6-month span. In exchange for their service to the community, they receive a living stipend, an education award, and lots of support in the way of professional development. Power Corps has partnered with the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. They have taught us a wide variety of things, including tree care, how to plant trees, and a lot of stormwater infrastructure information, how it's going to benefit both the planet and the community at large. A lot of these young adults have made a bad decision at some point, and so for others to see them doing good in their own communities is awesome.
I decided to join because this was a pledge I was willing to take. This was something I was willing to do. I got nieces and nephews coming up. I want them to know it's okay to go to your park and play. You'll actually see a tree. And it's not something you'll say, I haven't seen a tree in so long. Like, I've actually came out and said I have never seen a tree in about 3 weeks. I want the next generation coming up to know that since the previous generation cared, we'll care. I take something home from work every day. I'm outside in the yard with my nieces and nephews like, do you know that grass right there? That's not grass, it's scallions underneath there. Do you know that when I walk through the neighborhood, I'm like, oh, that tree's gonna die if we don't get that from around the crown of the tree. That's things I never knew till I started here. Tools I never would have put into use. Places I've never would have knew it existed. Like, I would have never knew this was back here if it wasn't for Power Corps. Power Corps is opening my mind to a lot of things. This is one of the most excellent programs ever. It's getting our youth off the streets into something positive, and then at that, we're doing something good for everyone, not just ourselves. Everyone around us is affected by what we do.
Really carefully remove the plant.
We just finished the first cohort of 50 members, and we had some that went right into the Philadelphia Department of Parks and Recreation as maintenance attendants, often stationed in their own neighborhoods. We had some that are now working with the Tree Keepers, which is a group that does tree care all over the city. We had some that went into the private sector and are now working at landscaping centers and nurseries.
Over the last several years, I have started to get more requests both by homeowners and township officials to provide ways through stormwater best management practices to mitigate both stormwater runoff and the effects that it has on our local streams and lakes. There is increased demand for skilled workers who have the understanding of native plants, also how to install pavers. And it is a challenge for me to bring in entry-level employees who have these basic knowledge sets. Workers who may apply for a position with my company that already has some of this training gives them a step up over an employee that has never had any training in these tools.
As the city prepares to do capital improvements that are looking at making improvements to stormwater management throughout the region, we think it's a really great idea to start building capacity around the workforce that would be able to help maintain some of these projects as they go in. So we definitely see a need for stormwater management training.
What's special about this training is that you guys will be able to provide that information. And
Coming in the early stages of this growing industry of green stormwater infrastructure, you can potentially be seen as an expert because you'll have a leg up on those folks that are coming in a lot later.
I'll be around the tree without choking it. Okay.
So there is absolutely room for advancement, even if you're starting out as an introductory landscape maintenance crew member. You can grow yourself within that company to become a manager, become a project leader, start picking out some of the plants and learning the landscape design pieces of these projects. There's also ways to connect with unions and union apprenticeships, as well as connect with training programs that exist throughout the city of Philadelphia.
You can grow in different areas. It may be landscaping, it may be hardscaping, it may be stormwater management and bioretention. So there's room to grow. You just got to be willing, you got to have the drive and the determination.